So in this video we're doing tree block 2 for the Forest Flora quilt. And the first step here is to sew the half square triangles. This is exactly the same as in the first video for this quilt, which is the tree block 1. So I'm not going to repeat that. I am going to say that you will notice some things are a little wonky when I sew this block, and that's because I forgot to trim these to 2 inches. So it does say it in the pattern. I just read it and forgot to trim it. So there will be some inconsistencies you'll see. However, if you trim the block properly, you won't have any problems. We're going to go on to the other method, which is the SF method, and that is where you put a square in the corner of a rectangle and you sew the diagonal like my finger shows here, and then let's just do that. And I'm not marking it with a pencil, but I have a line on my sewing machine and I just keep the corner, the bottom corner lined up, and it makes it easy. You can also draw the line if you prefer. And if you do draw the line, this time you are sewing on top of the line. You're not sewing a 1/4 inch from it. You're sewing on the line or stitching on the diagonal point to point. So I'm just finger pressing it to make sure it looks the same as it should in the pattern. And then I'm going to trim it. Oh, I'm measuring it here so that I know my seam allowance was correct. So here I'm cutting a 1/4 inch from the stitch line. And another finger press. And we do that again in the other opposite corner. And we're just going to make one of these units for each of the blocks. So and we're calling this Unit A, and it looks like I need a sharper blade. So if you're wondering what the SF stands for, it's for sew and flip. And I just finished Unit A. It's at upper right hand corner there. And so now I'm going to move on to Unit B, and this is done essentially the exact same way, except we're only putting one triangle on, but we're going to do 3 units. So I am going to speed through this a little bit. There are also, so this is A and B, there's also C, D, and E, and they are all done the same. It's just that the length of the green strip is different. So I'm not going to make you watch this the whole thing. So I'm going to speed through for you. Okay, now we are going to do the tree trunk. And once again, it's not called the tree trunk in the pattern. It's called step 7. So basically we're putting 2 triangles onto a rectangle. So right now I'm folding the rectangle in half to find the center. And now I'm going to fold each of the triangles in half to find the center. And now I'm just lining them up, and I'm going to sew the seam, do the same thing on the other side, and then press. We're also going to trim the top and the bottom of the trunk similarly to how we did it on block 1. So I'm just lining up my template with the corner, or with the edges to create the corner, and then I'm just taking off the useless bits and turning it and doing the same thing on the other corner. And when I'm done, this should measure 8 by 8 inches. And then I'm going to set it aside and go on to step 8. Okay, here I've laid out all the pieces needed for step 8, and when this is sewn together it should measure 5 by 8. And here we have unit 8. I am going to now sew step 7 to step 8, adding the tree trunk. You notice a little gap at the bottom down there. That is actually not short, it's actually measures 5 inches. And so I'm leaving a little green peek out here. We're over the halfway point, folks. And here's the second half of the treetop. I've already pieced it, and I'm sewing the last strip on, and then we will attach it to the other half of the tree, and we'll be done. Woo-hoo. And there we have the other half of the tree, and this is how they go together. And there you have it. Tree number 2 is done. Thanks for watching.